I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with the cattle market summary for the week ending April the 20th, where we had a nice neutral cattle on feed report that come out on Friday there. And a lot of times I'm very critical of the analysts that predict those numbers, but not this time. I mean, they absolutely notched it. And it was a little bit scary because we knew that we had lighter placements in March. And we were expecting that, and we were kind of getting ready for a bullish report. But then whenever the analysts came out with their prediction at just under 91% of the placements of last year, oh my gosh, it got kind of scary there for a minute because we was afraid that they undercut it, which they have done many times over the last year or two. But they come out and I tell you what, they just notched all three categories. They were just within tenths of a percentage point of nailing all three of them. And so there should be no negative. And actually where they did miss them a tenth or two, it was to the bullish side. So we should have gangbusters coming in this week. We had a higher fat cattle market last week. It was higher yet on Friday. We had a good friendly cattle on feed report on the neutral side, but it was a little bit scary there last week, and the board saw that too and went down on Thursday, I think because of the expectations of the cattle on feed report. But we should be getting that back here early in the week. Your sales should be good this week, although your Monday sales gained quite a bit last week, so they're pretty well caught up. So anything that they gain would be new additions onto their price on the market there. But let's look at the board for last week. June live cattle futures, Monday was up 52 cents, Tuesday up 72, Wednesday up 37, and then Thursday down $2.27, right in the face of a higher fat cattle market as fats were trading $2 to $4 higher in the Southern Plains. Left everybody shaking their head and really questioning things. I think a lot of that pressure Thursday come out with kind of fears of this cattle on feed report as it started getting advertised, how low they had the placement number pinned, but it turned out all right. Friday was up 72 cents to end the week with June live cattle at 103.72, up 7 cents for the week. Your April had to gain ground. We've been talking how it's been dragging behind, because it kept thinking this wall of cattle was going to come in before April was up, and it charged all week and still didn't catch up to the fat cattle market. So it's going to have to drive some more, although there's not a lot of play in it right now. But your April spot live cattle futures, 119.35 at the end of the week, up $2.80 for the week. August was down 47 cents for the week at 103.80 to end the day on Friday. May feeder cattle, Monday started out unchanged, Tuesday was down 12 cents, Wednesday up 42, and then Thursday down 2 1/4 with cattle on feed worries there, and then Friday up 90 cents to end the week with May feeder cattle at 139.32, down $1.05. April was down $2.07 to end the week at 137.30. August 144.5, down 60 cents for the week. Like I talked about, your fat cattle trade was higher through Thursday, which is the last we have of the complete roundup. Through Thursday, they had sold 61,700 head in the 5-area feeding region, mostly in the Southern Plains, and 47,000 of those on Thursday. But we sold on Thursday mostly in the Southern Plains from 121 to 122. That was $2 to $4 higher. Your weighted average through Thursday on those cattle on the steers was 121.31, so several at 122. The heifers were just under 121. A lot of heiferettes and plainer mixed deals pulling on the heifers a little bit. But on Friday came out, and this was late in the day after the cattle on feed report, so very bullish there. Northern Plains 123 to 124, $1 to $2 higher live, and 195 mostly. Most of those cattle also dressed at 195, $5 higher. So that was all in Nebraska, parts of Iowa, Colorado, Wyoming, and a really good market there. And we've gained quite a bit of ground here the last couple weeks right in the face of the shadow of this wall of cattle that they're talking about. But you know, it may not be as bad as what has been advertised. Your box beef cutouts, average trade for last week, choice cutouts $211.78, down $1.56. Your selects down $178 compared to the previous week's average at $199.35. That's a $12.43 choice select spread and a good movement of 740 loads of cuts, trimmings, and grinds. But let's look at that cattle on feed report again. Your April 1st inventories come in very, very close, just underneath what the expectations were, which is good, at 107.4. We know we had a lot of cattle on feed, and we've been harping on that here for the last couple, 3 months. And I think with the weather and a lot of these things that have happened with these blizzards, they've been pulling cattle from Kansas up to the western side of the northern plains there to fill slaughter spot needs there. We've kind of chopped into this wall, and I think we may be able to bust through it without completely losing all of our market position here. But we've also got lighter placements. The placements come out at 90.7, which is just a couple of tenths of a percentage point under, which is a good. And really, it looks like your placements are really, really low. The heck of it is, they're really kind of right in line of what they normally would be for March, because they had such a huge placement number a year ago in March. A lot of cattle coming off weed, all hitting at the same time there, and the market was charging, and everybody was trying to get in and take advantage of that, and a lot of cattle moved a year ago in March. But needless to worry about that, we had a nice, friendly, comfortably neutral market for your cattle on feed report. Your marketings come in at 96.1, which was a tenth of a percentage point better. So everything was just really good. We didn't need anything, you know, shaking things up. It was just they did a good job of putting the expectations on that report. They come in right in line with the way they were supposed to. We've got some steam behind this market. We could bust through this so-called wall of cattle here that's kind of been broken and got some holes in it from these storms and moving cattle around to different areas. So I think we're in a good spot, a lot better spot than we thought we were going to be in at this time a month ago. But you look at your feeder markets, your real-time index on Beef Market Central ended the week at 136.42, which was actually down $1.62 from your RTI ended the week the previous week. So, you know, I know we saw some big prices out there, but really, and some of your places were quoting cattle higher for the week, but as a whole, your cash feeder cattle market in your auctions was steady to $3 lower, which is not terrible at all. But you think back, the previous week was the first good week of run of cattle that we'd had after we saw that market kind of bounce back a little bit, and we'd had several weeks there of hardly anybody selling any cattle because they were scared the market was going to continue lower. And then we had a lot of people aggressive for that previous week, and it was high. Well, this week we saw some high trends, but it was on some markets that maybe didn't have a good run the week before. But as a whole, your market was off just a little bit, not bad by any means, and we still had quite a few stick out prices that raised eyebrows around, but still it's just a pinch lower, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But your yearling feeder cattle prices are very close to year-ago levels right now. So, you know, we're not in any trouble, any bad deal or anything, and you can expect those big feeder cattle, the market on those to continue to rise as we go through the summer. And it looks like maybe winter's over now, finally, knock on wood, but we haven't heard of any new blizzards expected now. Of course, we're going to get some spring rains, which everybody still needs that, but some good old sunshine, and even the wind's starting to die down a little bit here in the southern plains. But talk about some prices that kind of stuck out at the end of the week there late on Friday. I'll give you some individual quotes. A new sale that's, or not a new sale, but a sale that is newly reporting into Cattle Market Central in here for me to talk about. Excited about having them. If you have a sale barn, you're running one, and you're not reporting in to us on Cattle Market Central, you don't really have to do anything. We can draw that information right from your block through the clouds. But Crawford, Nebraska, glad to have them aboard. 53 head of 579 pound steers. That's pretty close to 600 pounds at 194. And then Dunlap, Iowa, had a good sale on Friday with 75 head of 782 pound steers, bringing a $146. That's a look at your week's markets from Home Depot Auction Office here in Canyon, Texas. We'll talk to you next week.